In order to share a ratio, we are first going to have to add the ratio and then divide the given amount into those total parts. So first we need to find the total parts in this ratio. So we are going to add the ratio 3 and 2, which gives us 5 total parts. In this question, we are sharing £200 in this ratio. So we have to divide 200 by 5, which gives us 40. This means that each part represents £40. Because we are dividing it in the ratio 3 to 2, this means that the first ratio gets 3 parts and the second ratio gets 2 parts, each representing 40. So in order to find how much the first one is, we are going to have to do 40 multiplied by 3. And for the second one, we will do 40 multiplied by 2. 4 times 3 is 12, therefore 40 times 3 will be 120. And 4 times 2 is 8, therefore 40 times 2 will be 80. So we are going to write this in the form 120 to 80. And because we were sharing pounds, we will put the pound sign before our numbers. So £200 shared in the ratio 3 to 2 is £120 to £80. For number 2, we have to share 180 sweets in the ratio 4 to 1. So first we are going to find the total parts, which will be 5 total parts. And because we are sharing 180 sweets, we are going to have to do 180 divided by 5. We can work this out. 1 divided by 5 is 0, we carry my 1. 18 divided by 5 gives me 3 with a remainder of 3. And 30 divided by 5 gives us 6. Therefore 180 divided by 5 is 36. So the first number in our ratio is 4. So we do 4 multiplied by 36. We could put this into column method. 6 times 4 is 24. And 3 times 4 is 12 plus the 2 gives us 14. So this is 144. And the second number in our ratio is 1. So we do 1 multiplied by 36, which is just 36. So to write this in our given ratio, because our 4 is first, we write the 4 parts first, which is represented by 144. And the 1 part is represented by 36. So 180 sweets shared in the ratio 4 to 1 is 144 to 36. So number 1 says, share £720 in the ratio 7 to 4 to 9. So first, we are going to add the numbers in our ratio. So we're going to add 7, 4, and 9 to give us 20. So 20 is the total amount of parts that we are sharing our £720 in. So because we're sharing £720 into 20 parts, we are going to divide 720 by 20. That gives us 36. And so 1 part, and this means that 1 part is representing £36. So in order to find how much is represented by 7 parts, we are going to do 36 times 7, and we can put that into column method. 6 times 7 is 42, and 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 4 is 25. So 36 times 7 is 252. To find how much is represented by 4 parts, we are going to do 36 times 4. Again, we could put that into column method. 6 times 4 is 24. And 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus the 2 gives us 14. So 36 times 4 is 144. And to find how much is represented by the 9 parts, we are going to do 36 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54. And 9 times 3 is 27. Add the 5 gives us 32. So 36 times 9 is 324. So in order to write this money shared in that ratio, we can first write our 7 parts, which is £252, our 4 parts, which is £144, and our 9 parts, which is £324. For number 2, we are being told to share 240 apples in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. So number 2 says share 240 apples in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. So again, we are going to add our numbers in our ratio 3 plus 4 plus 5 to give us the total parts that we need to divide our apples in, which gives us 12 total parts. Because we are sharing 240 apples into 12 total parts, that means we are going to have to divide 240 by 12, and that gives us 20. So first we are going to find how much is represented by the 3 parts, and in order to do that we will do 20 multiplied by 3. 2 times 3 is 6, so 20 times 3 will be 60. To find how much is represented by the 4 parts, we are going to do 20 multiplied by 4. 2 times 4 is 8, so 20 times 40 will be 80. And to find out how much is represented by the 5 parts, we are going to do 20 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And therefore 20 times 5 will be 100. So we can write, so if we share our 240 apples in this ratio, that will mean that these apples are shared as 60 apples to 80 apples to 100 apples. Here we've got a worded problem that says Sarah and John share a box of candies in the ratio 3 to 2. If there are 50 candies in the box, how many candies does each person get? So first, we are going to have to add our 3 and 2 in order to find the total parts that the 50 candies are being shared into. 3 plus 2 is 5, which means we have 5 total parts in which we are sharing the candies. We have 50 candies, so we are going to do 50 divided by 5, which means that each part is represented by 10 candies. We know the ratio for Sarah and John, so we can write S for Sarah and J for John. So the ratio of Sarah to John is 3 to 2. We know that 10 represents 1 part. So to find how much Sarah got, we have to multiply our 1 part by 3. So we're going to do 3 times 10. And in order to find how much John got, we are going to do 2 times 10, which gives us 30 to 20. So Sarah therefore got 30 candies and John got 20 candies. This question says, Alex and Ryan divide their earnings in the ratio 4 to 7. If Alex earns £240, how much does Ryan earn? So in this question, we don't know the total earnings. We only have been given Alex's earnings. So we can therefore start by writing down the ratio of Alex's earnings. So we could put A for Alex and R for Ryan. So the ratio of Alex's earnings to Ryan's earnings is 4 to 7. We have now been given the earnings of Alex, which is £240. So we can therefore write 240 under our A for Alex. And we do not know the earnings of Ryan because that is what the question is asking us to find. So in order to do that, we can first look at what we have done to our 4 in order to make it 240. We know we have multiplied it by something because we are making it bigger. So to find that number, we can do 240 divided by 4, and that gives us 60. So we know that we have multiplied our 4 by 60 in order to get 240, and we have to therefore do the same thing to our 7. We are going to multiply our 7 by 60. 7 times 6 is 42, therefore 7 times 60 will be 420. And we've therefore now answered our question. Ryan earns £420. In this question, we are told a group of friends divide their expenses for a trip in the ratio 5:3:2 for transportation, accommodation, and food, respectively. If the total expenses amount to £1,200, how much did they spend on accommodation? So because we have been given the ratio for transportation, which we can call T, accommodation, which we can label A, and food, we can label F, we can first of all write our ratio down. So the ratio of T to A to F is 5:3:2. We're then being told that their total expenses amount to 1,200, and we are only looking for the amount that they have spent on accommodation. So we are only looking for the amount of money that they have spent on accommodation, and we have been given the ratio in which they have spent this £1,200. So we can therefore first start by adding the numbers in our ratio, 5 plus 3 plus 2, to give us the total parts. And this gives us 10 total parts that this £1,200 is going to be divided into. We then need to divide our 1,200 by 10, and that gives us 120. So we therefore know that one part now represents £120. Because we are only interested in how much money they spent in accommodation, our accommodation is being represented by 3 parts in the ratio, so we will do 3 multiplied by our £120. 3 times 12 is 36, therefore 3 times 120 will be 360, and therefore £360 is the amount of money they have spent on accommodation. This question says, Jane, Mark, and Sam share some books in the ratio 3:4:5. If Sam has 20 books, how many books do they have altogether? So we have been given the ratio in which they have shared the book, and we can write the ratios of Jane as J, M as Mark, S as Sam. So Jane to Mark to Sam is 3:4:5. We have then been told that Sam has 20 books. So under Sam, we can write the number of books that Sam has, which is 20. And we need to look for how many books they have all together. In order to do that, we're first going to have to find how many books Mark has and how many books Jane has. So to do that, we can look at what we've done to the ratio of 5 to get to 20 books. And to make 5 into 20, we have multiplied it by 4. So that is the same thing we are going to do to the other numbers in our ratio. 4 multiplied by 4 gives us 16. So that means Mark received 6 books. And 3 times 4 is 12, which means Jane had 12 books. We are then looking for how many books they had all together, and in order to do that, we can just add 12 plus 16 plus 20. 12 plus 16 is 28, and 28 plus 20 gives us 48. Therefore, the total number of books that they all had was 48 books. So here are a few practice questions for you to try. So please feel free to pause the video, grab a pen and paper and have a go before you play the video again to look at the worked solutions. So for number 1, we are told Rachel and Simon share £400 in the ratio 3:7. How much does each person get? So first, we can write down the ratio that we've been given, R for Rachel to S for Simon, and the ratio given is 3:7. We are then told that they're sharing £400 in this ratio. So first we need to find the total parts that they're sharing it in. So we add our 3 and 7, which gives us 10 total parts. Because they're sharing £400 into 10 parts, We therefore divide our 400 by 10, and that gives us £40. So Rachel is getting 3 parts. Therefore, to find how much Rachel gets, we can do 3 times 40, and that gives us £120. To find out how much Simon is getting, because Simon is getting 7 parts, we can do 7 times 40, and that gives us £280. We have therefore found how much each person gets. For number 2, we are told a bag contains red, green, and blue marbles in the ratio 3:4:5. If there are 36 green marbles, how many marbles are there in total? So first, we can begin by writing down our ratio of red to green to blue marbles, which is 3:4:5. We are then told that there are 36 green marbles, so under the green, we can write 36 as the number of green marbles, and we are asked to find how many marbles there are in total. So in order to find the total number of marbles, we're first going to have to find how many red marbles there are, as well as how many blue marbles there are. In order to do that, we have to check what we have done to our 4 to make it into 36, and we have multiplied it by 9. So we therefore have to do the same thing to our 5 and our 3. 5 times 9 is 45, and 3 times 9 is 27. We therefore have 27 red marbles, 36 green, and 45 blue. In order to find how many total marbles we have, we can now add our 27 red marbles plus 36 green marbles plus the 45 blue marbles, and that gives us 108 marbles in total.